Today, I want to review a book that I have bought probably 6 different copies of now. It's called Rest: Why You Get More Done by Working Less. I don't have a copy of the book because I've already given away my copy because it is so impactful. It is probably the best $15 you could spend if you are someone who works too much. My name is Kathleen Celmins. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Amplify Now, a video-first content marketing agency and digital resource for service providers who are offering digital video-first content marketing. If you want to learn more about what we do and how you could set it up to add $10,000 to $20,000 a month in revenue for your business, head over to doingmarketingdifferently.com. But today I want to talk about Rest: Why We Get More Done When We Work Less. This book absolutely changed my life in a very profound and also not that surprising way. And what I like about it is it's one of those books that if you read it, you would have a completely different takeaway than if I read it. So what I mean by that is, unlike a lot of books in the bettering yourself or business strategy category, or even in self-help actually, it's not prescriptive. So it goes through the different topics, top-level topics around rest and getting work done. And one of the big takeaways I want you to think about is that in the book, the author writes that Darwin wouldn't have gotten tenure if he were in a university setting. Darwin would have been fired after 2 weeks in a modern corporate setting. So if that doesn't get your attention, then maybe this book's not for you. But I loved it because they talked about studies that were done, productivity studies and output, and what's the ultimate number of hours per week to work and how to split things up. And there's so many takeaways. So the main takeaways for me were: 1, do an hour and a half of work first thing in the morning. So I get up early and I work from home like lots of people, and I have small humans in my house like lots of people. And getting an hour and a half of focused, quiet work done in the mornings has made me make progress on things that just weren't getting done. We have a video course called Doing Marketing Differently at doingmarketingdifferently.com. It's actually called the Content Block System, and it shows people how we do what we do for our clients, and so they can set it up for themselves. So none of those videos were getting done. None of them. If I waited until my hair was dry and everyone in my house was quiet, I would still be waiting. So what I did instead was I didn't record my face. I did a screen share recording of those videos, and I did them all before 6 in the morning. And that really helped me get out of my own way when it came to this course creation. And so now when I get up, and I get up whenever I get up, I don't set an alarm, but I'm always up before 6. I work until my 5-year-old gets up. And then I switch gears and I take kind of a big break, like an hour to 2 hours in the morning to, help with getting people out the door and getting breakfast on the table and getting ready for the day. And then I sit back down around 8 or 9 for another hour and a half session. And one of the things that's from this book that was a really cool takeaway is that you need about 3, maybe 4 hour and a half sessions of focused work to get a ton done. And so I was able to start prioritizing yoga. And I know from my experience that a day where I do yoga is a day where I feel better, I am happier, I'm more well-adjusted, I have more patience for the things that come up that I tend to lose patience for. I know that I'm just better with it. And one of the things that has always been a sticking point is that I can't really go first thing in the morning. Because if I go first thing in the morning, then what I've done is I've taken away that work period. But if I go in the middle of the day and then I eat after yoga, then I can get to a point where I've done 2 of those long focus chunks. I take my break, I eat, and then I rest, because napping is a big part of this book too, as well as nighttime sleep, of course. Then I can come back and do another round of work sort of in the late afternoon. And then I realize, like, I get so much more done if I'm able to add in those breaks. And I think that the big takeaway from this book is that, unlike the stuff you see that are just in sound bites or quotes, where it's like, you gotta take a break, you gotta rest, you have to do this, you have to YOLO, and like none of that talks about the very real problem of being an entrepreneur or a solo entrepreneur or a freelancer. If you're not working, you're not making money, and that's stressful. But if you take it from this perspective, where what you're doing is you're prioritizing rest, you're making sure you get a ton done, you actively engage in things that are not work for you. So hard exercise where you get out of your head entirely. You take long walks, any of that stuff. The fact that this was about still getting stuff done, so that it wasn't rest at the expense of being an entrepreneur or a business owner or whatever you identify as, that was the thing that helped sell it for me. I'm not sure, that might be something that resonates with you too, because it's an idea that allows us to not treat our bodies like machines, but to treat our bodies as whole bodies and enable us to do creative work for the rest of our lives, instead of trying to put our heads down and grind until we get to some magical income level where we think we're going to relax, and then burning out before we get there or after we get there. And after we get there, we move the needle, right? So I highly recommend this. There's going to be a link in the comments here. Go to Bookshop or Amazon and get Rest. And if you want to talk about it after you've read it, I would love to hear your thoughts on it. Thanks.